first session on discovering the value of embedded analytics, we'll provide an overview of embedding analytics and discuss the business value derived from these initiatives. In the next session on May 21st, we'll describe how to prepare your organization for a successful implementation. These first two sessions are targeted to senior business leaders who may be early in the process and are trying to understand if embedded analytics makes sense for their business. The remaining sessions will cover the three technical pillars required for embedding analytics. Targeted to more technical audiences, the last three sessions will cover visual design best practices, how to develop seamless integrations between portals and dashboards, and how to provision a robust, scalable, and secure infrastructure. Please be sure to invite others within your organization to attend these insightful sessions depending on their role. Hello everyone, I'm Karen Desange. As the VP of Marketing at OSI Digital, I oversee the global marketing strategy to help elevate the company's brand awareness and to drive our business growth in market. Throughout my 25-year career, I've led marketing, communications, and public relations for some of the world's leading organizations. Our presenter today is Jeff Perrick, OSI Digital's Chief Technology Officer. Jeff has over 20 years of experience in business intelligence and data analytics. He is our embedded analytics subject matter expert and has led scores of successful implementations for our valued customers. At OSI Digital, our mission is clear. We provide purpose-built business and technology solutions that optimize performance to enable data-driven outcomes for our customers. Our company was founded in 1993 in California and has since expanded to a team of over 1,400 employees worldwide. With over 1,000 clients served and 3,500 projects completed, we're committed to helping our customers convert their technology visions into reality by designing digital strategies that drive real business value. A few housekeeping items. To ensure that you get the most out of this webinar, we encourage you to submit your questions by typing them into the chat at the top right-hand corner of your screen. At the end of the webinar, we'll answer your questions, and if we do run out of time and are unable to get to your question, we'll be sure to follow up with you personally. Please note that all lines are muted throughout the session, and the webinar will also be made available in its entirety after the session, and all attendees will receive an email with a link to the webinar. This content will also be available on our website at osidigital.com. So with that, I'm excited to turn it over to my colleague, Jeff Perrick, who also happens to be our resident embedded analytics expert at OSI. Jeff, over to you.
Karen, thank you very much. And to everybody attending, thank you very much for your time today. We hope you get a great deal of value out of today's session and the entire webinar series. So to start with, let's go through some definitions. Just to make sure we're all on the same page, what exactly are we talking about embedded data analytics? Well, Gartner defines embedded analytics as reporting and analytic capabilities that are readily available from within the day-to-day transactional systems that our users utilize. The key is that the analytics have to be readily accessible. Users shouldn't have to switch back and forth between applications in order to get the information that they need. Likewise, Forrester has pointed out the value of embedded data analytics. With the new generation of visual data analytics tools, application development and delivery teams can seamlessly integrate these capabilities directly into our applications. With this new capability, we close the gap between analysis and action. Within a single pane of glass, a single application, users now have access to a wealth of information available and the ability to immediately take action on that information. But we're here really to talk about a particular type of embedded analytics, external embedded analytics. And as Information Week described in a recent article, analytics are being embedded in all sorts of software these days. Our end users are expecting it as part of their overall experience we provide to them within our software. Why? Because it's now pervasive. We find useful analytics in everything from our personal finance sites to our shopping sites to the rings in our activity tracker on our smartwatches. The Aberdeen Group put it another way. They said that analytics used to be a nice-to-have feature, an add-on capability. But in today's age, users have grown to expect it. They want the knowledge and power that comes from being able to visualize the massive amounts of data that our applications make available. External embedded analytics is no longer that nice-to-have feature. We have to begin thinking of it as a core capability of the software and services that we provide to our customers through our products. So we've seen that companies are quickly gravitating towards external embedded visual data analytics, but let's ask why. What's the value that these companies see from that new capability? And more importantly, why should your company be considering it as well? So the Aberdeen Group published a report not too long ago called Insight in the Moment, Analytics Embedded at the Point of Decision. And I love the title of that report because I think it really hits the nail on the head. We're talking about providing customers with the information they need to make informed decisions at the point that they're making those decisions. So they surveyed a set of companies about their use of data analytics. And of the 422 respondents, some classified their use as predominantly standalone. That is, they're providing the analytics, but it's through a separate application altogether. Their users have to switch back and forth between these applications in order to get the information they need. The other respondents said that they've embedded those analytic capabilities directly into their applications. And through a series of questions, they asked their respondents whether the information provided by the analytics were relevant to the work being done, available when the data was needed, and provided the necessary capabilities. And we can see consistently the customers who had access to analytics directly within the application found it far more useful and valuable. So let's take a look at a case study. This is one of our clients. This particular client provides branded marketing to Fortune 500 companies. In fact, they might provide services to many of you on the webinar today. Their services help build brand image of their clients and are an integral part of their marketing campaigns. Of course, their clients want to know how effective those services are, and historically, our client has done this through a series of in-person quarterly business reviews with their clients. But it was a highly manual, inefficient process. The account managers would run a series of reports from various in-house systems, extract the data into Excel, spend hours massaging and formatting the data, ultimately creating some very primitive looking charts, copying and pasting those into PowerPoint presentations, and ultimately creating PDF documents that are shared with their customers. Now, while that sounds ridiculous, we've run into quite a number of situations like that, and it might resonate with many of you on the webinar here today as well. The results were, at the end of the day, well, let's just say less than stunning. In fact, customers were threatening to leave because of the lack of useful information. Several of our clients' competitors had made data analytics a core value proposition. Online, real-time analytics were an integral part of their offering, and they used this capability to attract and retain customers. And our client came to us for advice and assistance because they were getting a lot of pressure from these competitors. So we did a bit of work for them, did some competitive research, and prepared a set of strategic recommendations. And one of the first recommendations was to implement Tableau. Data is now available on a real-time basis from the source systems. No need to manually extract and prepare the data. The information is presented consistently in intuitive and meaningful visualizations. No need for the account managers to have to use Excel, PowerPoint, PDFs, and the lot. And most importantly, the information can be provided to their customers on a real-time basis when they need it. The bottom line message is that companies have to be planning their external embedded analytics strategy in order to stay competitive and relevant in today's market. So let's take a look at another example. Again, one of our clients, and in this particular case, this is a a customer that leverages IoT devices, video analysis, advanced analytics, and driver coaching to help fleet vehicle operators to improve performance and ultimately reduce liability costs. The IoT devices that we're talking about hook directly into the vehicle control unit to get information like fuel consumption, idle time, things of that sort. GPS devices and accelerometers track the location of the vehicle, braking and acceleration and turning events. Forward-facing cameras monitor traffic conditions, and another camera facing back at the driver monitors the driver's behavior at all times. The numbers and the results are amazing, right? Over 250 million driving events have been evaluated by our client. Through this, they've helped their customer reduce fuel consumption by 2%. May not sound like a great deal, but a lot of their clients are using a lot of fuel. For just one of their rapid transit carriers, this equals a total savings of $220,000 per year, a very significant amount. But it's the reduction in the liability costs that can be most significant. Through driving event evaluation and driver coaching, for one of their customers, they've helped reduce collisions by over 50%. For another, they've reduced accident claims from $3 million to $7,600,000 per year, a 75% reduction. Some very significant value that their solution is providing. And their base offering includes a standard set of Tableau embedded dashboards that they know all of their customers will find useful. But some of their larger clients, right, have particular projects and regulatory initiatives for which they also know this data can be extremely useful. So for an extra fee, our client quickly creates these new dashboards and makes them available securely to the customer through the same dashboard. This is just one example of how our clients are driving additional incremental revenue through embedded analytics offerings. So we've taken a look at a couple of ways that companies gain value from their external embedded analytics, right? Competitive advantage and incremental revenue. But I think one of the most interesting and often overlooked is gaining additional insights about our customers. McKinsey & Company has pointed out that a company's ability to capture and use information about customers, including how they use our products and services, is critically important to how we shape our products and services. Customer data has to be seen as a strategic asset, and the way we use it has to be strategic as well. There are a number of different questions that we can answer if we have better information about how our customers use our online products. I'm sure we've all had experience with Amazon's recommendation engine. I'll admit I've made add-on purchases based on their recommendations. Likewise, we've seen insights that Google gains from monitoring our online behavior. This information is the core of their business model. And the good news is that with today's advances in technology, each of us can help our companies leverage customer insights in the same way. We need to be using this information to segment our customer base, to help improve how we market and sell to each segment, to drive our product roadmap, and to identify opportunities to upsell and cross-sell to our customer base. Gallup, as we all know, is certainly the forefront of customer analytics, right? They've evolved with the industry from the old days where they monitored TV viewing behavior to much, much more these days. And in a study that they performed recently, they found that companies that leverage the principles of behavioral economics outperform their peers by 85% in sales growth and 25% in gross margin. Bottom line, we need to leverage every opportunity that we have to gain better customer insights, and that includes how our customers are using the data that we make available to them. So let's recap some of the benefits that we've discussed. We've seen how interactive, impactful visual data analytics can improve the overall experience our customers have with our offerings, and how that can help differentiate us from our competitors. We've seen how we can leverage those capabilities to drive incremental revenue. We've also seen how embedding visual data analytics can keep our customers more engaged and active on our sites. In turn, this provides us with additional valuable insights about their wants, their needs, their desires. And all of this leads to an overall value that we can't forget, and that is customer retention and increasing customer total lifetime value. Bain & Company published a study where they found that a small increase in exactly that, customer retention, 5% increase in customer retention, can result in a 25 to 95% increase in profit. We all know how expensive customer acquisition is, marketing efforts, sales efforts, everything that goes into it. By simply increasing our customer retention by a small 5% amount, we can increase our profit margin by a significant amount. So now we've talked about the value of embedding analytics into our products. Now it's out to the old question of how do we do it, right? Do we build it ourselves or do we leverage an off-the-shelf platform? We've helped many of our customers through this process. Each situation is unique, right? But there are a standard set of considerations, standard principles that should always be evaluated. There are a lot of open source software options out on the market. And the advantage is that they typically don't have an upfront license cost, at least for the community edition, the version without formal support. This appears initially to be an attractive option because of the low upfront costs. But we need to consider the development cost as well. Our experience has been that with these open source tools, there's a lot more development time required. The development team ends up having to sling a lot more code to achieve the same capabilities as the commercial packages. Consider as an example Tableau. Last year spent $380 million in their R&D activities. $380 million, and a lot of this was focused on how to make their products easier to deploy and easier to use. We also have to consider support costs. Commercial vendors spend a lot of time and money to ensure their products are stable. But in addition, they provide trained support teams who focus exclusively on quickly resolving questions and issues. For us, as consumers, far better to leverage that expertise than to try to develop an internal team to do it ourselves. Ultimately, it comes down to total cost of ownership. And we found time and time again that the total cost of ownership for commercial off-the-shelf packages that are purpose-built for developing interactive, intuitive, impactful visual analytics can be far less expensive than building it yourselves. But as the saying goes, time is money, and that's true here too. The clients we showcased earlier were successful because they were able to quickly respond to their customers' demands. Being responsive demonstrates value and retains customers. And the market's changing fast. The features that were considered advanced last year are par for the course this year. Users are always expecting new capabilities and advanced features. And commercial vendors have teams that are continually focused on reading the market and understanding what are the new capabilities that are going to be demanded in the upcoming years. Capabilities that you and I can leverage without any additional investment of our own. In 2018 alone, Tableau released 140 new features to their product line, features that we can leverage as part of our overall offerings to our customers. And you want to make sure your platform is stable. Open source solutions have a low cost of entry, sure, but there isn't a large dedicated support team that's focused on ensuring your success. But commercial vendors have to focus on the stability of their offerings and ultimately the success of your implementation. But personally, I think the most important consideration is the focus of your internal team. By leveraging a commercial visual data analytics platform like Tableau, you can ensure that your team is focused on your core value proposition, the understanding and use of the data that you make available to your customer, as opposed to the low-level development activities. In the same Aberdeen report that we reviewed earlier, they also asked companies about the same buy versus build consideration that we're talking about here. In this particular case, of the 122 respondents, some had built their own solution and others had leveraged off-the-shelf commercial packages. The first two questions they asked were how satisfied companies were with their interactive capabilities of their solution. customers don't just want to see static charts. End users want to be able to interact with the data to gain deeper insights, to be able to slice and dice the information on different dimensions, to be able to drill down further into areas of interest. And they also asked, how complete their advanced analytics capabilities were. Over 3 times as many companies that responded said that the ones that use commercial packages were more pleased with their predictive analytics capabilities compared to the companies that had tried to build their own. These are concrete examples of what we discussed on the previous slide, the value of leveraging a commercial package. So let's recap. While building your own solution might initially seem attractive because of the lower upfront costs, there are many strategic long-term reasons to leverage an off-the-shelf package. From a lower total cost of ownership to the ability to be more responsive to your customer demands, leveraging advanced capabilities that are made available every quarter in commercial packages, and most importantly, keeping your development resources focused on your core value proposition, understanding your data, and delivering focused capabilities to your customers.
Thank you, Jeff, for the insightful overview of how embedded analytics can help empower customers. There's a lot to think about, and OSI Digital can help you get there. You may have noticed on an earlier slide, OSI Digital was named as one of Tableau's Partners of the Year in 2018. Tableau's Partner Awards recognize performance excellence and the significant achievements of its global partners, which firmly positions us as leaders in this space. Here's a little bit more about our company and our core capabilities on this slide. At OSI Digital, we accelerate digital transformation by offering integrated solutions that capture, develop, secure, integrate, analyze, and optimize data. Throughout the data lifecycle, our services include the design, development, and implementation of new solutions, as well as the ongoing management, enhancement, and support of our customers' existing business systems. Our solutions include data analytics, application development, business applications, infrastructure and operations, application integration, and industrial IoT. We have offices in the US, Canada, India, Philippines, Dubai, and Australia. Our main offshore delivery center is located at our state-of-the-art campus in Hyderabad, India, with additional locations in Chennai, Delhi, and Bangalore. We have supported a diverse portfolio of customers across various industries, including software and business services, financial services, life sciences and healthcare, manufacturing, energy, retail, and agriculture. Learn more about us at osidigital.com. Now, let's take time and open it up for questions from our attendees. So if you haven't done so already, please submit your questions through the Q&A on the WebEx. So Jeff, we have some questions that have already come through. The first question for you is, it seems that you are recommending to buy a visual data analytics platform instead of using open source tools to build one. But there are a lot of options on the market. Why are you recommending Tableau?
That's a great question. We at OSI Digital, our team within our data analytics practice has experience with quite a number of different off-the-shelf solutions. And in fact, myself, I used to run the global business intelligence practice at Allergan Pharmaceuticals. And because of the roll-up nature of that company, an accumulation of 40 some odd pharmaceutical companies, each of which had come along with their own BI tools and practices. I've had a great deal of experience myself with different off-the-shelf commercial packages. And from my own experience, when I've seen projects, both external embedded solutions as well as internal solutions, consistently, the ones that get the best reception from end users, the most adoption, has been Tableau solutions. There are a lot of powerful packages out there, but my experience is that Tableau has done far more in terms of making the end use of the system far easier and intuitive, and that's far more critical for an external solution than it is for an internal solution because you don't have the ability to train your end users. Your end users are going to go to your portal site, they're going to start interacting with the visuals, and if it's not intuitively obvious how to use those, they're going to get frustrated and disappointed. And our experience is that the Tableau interface is far more intuitive and easier to use than the other solutions. But from the development perspective, our experience is that Tableau has really focused on the right APIs and the right integration points to make sure that it's very easy for developers to embed advanced capabilities within the solution seamlessly and easily. And in our later sessions, we're going to focus in on those capabilities when we talk about seamlessly integrating Tableau into your solution. We'll go over some very specific examples then as well. But bottom line is our experience of all the different offerings out there, Tableau provides the richest, easiest to use, and easiest to integrate option on the market.
Great. So another question has come in, Jeff. The question is, how long does a project like this take, and how much should we expect it to cost?
Yes, another great question. And you know, to a certain extent, it's sort of like asking the question, how long is a string, right? It really depends on your particular use case. But we have seen situations where we're able to help clients embed their solution, you know, their particular dashboards within their solution in just a matter of a couple of weeks. In other scenarios, it's a more extensive process. But it really is sort of a one-off scenario. And again, what I would suggest is let's set up a time to talk about your particular scenario. Based on our experience working with other clients, we can help sort of time box your particular solution and help you put together a roadmap for how to roll it out. Yeah.
Great. Okay, here's another question for you. How can we recoup the cost of the implementation?
Yes, and that's a great question. We get that question quite often, right? Whether you are developing your own solution, whether you're leveraging a package such as Tableau, there are costs involved, right? There's the development cost, there's licensing cost, there's support cost. As you've seen from the use cases that we've described earlier, just providing the online embedded analytics can have a significant payback in and of itself. There are the intangibles, right? The customer retention, you know, because of the customer retention, the increased total lifetime value that we've been able to really measure with some clients, but those can be a little bit more intangible than others. And in other cases, it's the ability to add on additional services that are fee-based services, such as the IoT fleet vehicle management scenario that we described earlier. So what we would suggest is as you're putting together your business case for embedding analytics within your solution, it's really a matter of putting all of those factors together, right? Both the tangible and intangible factors to come up with the overall value that you provide to your customers as that relates to the cost of adding those additional capabilities and features as well.
Fantastic. Okay, here's the next question that's come through. To what degree is Tableau able to be white labeled? If we choose Tableau, will my customers know that it is Tableau powering our analytics solutions? Good question.
Yeah, that is, and I think that's important because with some solutions they do essentially make it very obvious that the visuals, the dashboards, et cetera, that are embedded within your solution are provided by that vendor. Tableau has done a very good job of providing capabilities where you can entirely white label the solution. So the visuals that you present can look just like your native application from a complete, you know, look and feel perspective without your end users knowing that it's Tableau behind the scenes.
Great. Okay, looks like we have one last question. If we still do have time, if there's any other questions that folks have, please feel free to submit them via chat. Last question here. Can we see an example of embedded analytics using Tableau inside, say, a website or an application?
That's another great question, and in a slide or two, what we're going to talk about is next steps, and I think that is a great next step, is to take a look at the possible, right? To begin to build the vision of what you can do within your companies, and so what I would suggest is let's set up a time to talk about your particular scenario, and figure out what that solution would look like for you. And we can very quickly put together a proof of concept, a sample that you can use internally to help build a vision in your company and to help your peers and your leadership team understand what the solution would look like and what the value is to your organization as well.
So Jeff, I think that's a perfect segue into how do we get on to the next steps.
Fantastic, great. So let's start with some quick takeaways, right? This is the first of a 5-part series. As we mentioned, each of these sessions are really focused on a particular topic, starting from the very high level and strategic and getting down into the nitty gritty. These first 2 sessions are going to be talking, first of all, about why should you be considering visual data analytics within your solution, and should you be considering building it yourself or purchasing an off-the-shelf package. We're then going to, in the next session, 2 weeks from today, we're going to be talking about how do you prepare your organization for that roadmap. And then the final 3 sessions really get into the bits and bytes of how do you do the implementation, right? Visual design best practices, how to seamlessly integrate the solution, and how to provision a robust, secure, resilient platform. But for today's session, the key takeaways that we want you to hopefully walk away with is, first of all, that the value of embedding visual data analytics into your solution is first and foremost being able to empower your customers by using engaging and interactive access to their data. This helps differentiate you from your competition, drive additional revenue, and ultimately increase customer retention and total lifetime value. When it comes to that next key question, do we build this ourselves or do we buy the platform? From our perspective, right, by leveraging the investments that vendors have put into their platform, it helps you accelerate your time to market. It helps you be more flexible and more agile in your ability to respond to your customers' needs and demands. It also helps you leverage the ever-growing catalog of advanced capabilities, the new capabilities that these vendors are providing on an ongoing basis. Ultimately, reducing your total cost of ownership when it comes to maintenance, upgrades, and support. And most importantly, it helps ensure that your team is focused on your core capabilities and your core knowledge. So next steps, as I mentioned earlier, let's schedule time to talk. Give us a call, send us an email message, and let's set up a time to just debrief, talk a little bit about where you're at today, what you'd like to consider doing in the future, and we can talk to you specifically about what we've done with other clients, what we've seen be successful, ways to avoid pitfalls, and help you achieve that vision. And a lot of times that's through the development of a proof of concept. So going back to the question about being able to see an example on a website, let's do that, but let's not make it a generic example. Let's take a look at your specific scenario. Let's put together a quick proof of concept that can demonstrate internal within your organization what this would look like. Again, to help build the vision, help gain consensus and backing from not only your peers, but your leadership team as well, that this is a direction that you should be taking your customers. Now, the next set of sessions, right, on the 21st, as I mentioned, this is going to be, again, focused on leaders within the organization, on how to prepare your organization from a people, process, and technology perspective for embedded analytics. And then on June 4th, June 18th, and June 25th, this is where we start to get really technical. We're going to be, first of all, talking about the specific visual design best practices for external embedded analytics. All of us probably have some level of experience with visual design best practices, but when it comes to serving an external audience, there are some extra things that we need to be considering. From a seamless integration perspective to the white label question, we want to make sure that the overall solution is seamless from our end user's perspective, that they see the analytics as being an integral part of your solution, that they can click within the analytics and take action in your platform, and likewise from within your platform immediately get relevant analytics at that point of decision. And then finally, it's key to make sure that we're provisioning a robust, scalable, and secure platform that underpins the whole solution, making sure that it's always available to your users, that it can scale up and down quickly and nimbly, and then ultimately the data is secure. The data that's available to one customer is secure to them and them only, and you don't have any data breaches. So those are the following 4 sessions within the series. We encourage you to take the time to invest other people within your organization to attend. As Karen mentioned earlier, you'll receive an email message shortly with this session that you can likewise share with others within your organization, and this session will be available shortly on our website as well. With that, I'd like to thank all of you for joining us today, and I look forward to talking with all of you in the next upcoming sessions as well. Thank you.